The Ghana Federation of Disability has embarked on a demonstration to force government to clear out the fresh guidelines on distribution of the common fund. This follows a one-week ultimatum they issued to government to respond to their demands of clarification. Now, according to the Federation, the new guidelines are making it impossible for a majority of their members to access the funds. That includes persons under 18 and those above 60. Kumasi Metro President of the Federation, Prince Deborah, is accusing the Common Fund Administrator of verbally giving the directive to the various DCEs across the country.
What caused for this demonstration was the delayance of our monies at this assembly, because we've heard that the monies has been given to the assemblies across the country, and KMA hasn't done anything for us since the monies was released to their coffers, and we have waited so long for this money to be disbursed to us. And that is why we came this morning to the mayor for his explanation for the delayance of the common fund to be given to us. And he has explained a whole lot to us. And the other aspect is there was a directive made by the common fund administrator, that is Natoshi, on cutting some ages out of the common fund of benefiting, which is ages of 0 to 18 years are not productive, so that they cannot access the common fund. And our fathers who are above 60 years should not were not entitled to enjoy this common fund. They should rather go to enjoy the LEAP, which is not more accessible for our old age people. So these are one of the challenges, or the peculiar one that we came out to demonstrate, so that she should go and come back with the old directives or the old guideline that has been approved by Parliament of Ghana since President Kufuor was in power. And there's this guideline that has been in existence for so long. So coming out with these new directives for them to use to cut some ages out of the common fund is not fair. That is most of our grievances that we brought out this morning.
Well, you heard some of the persons who went on demonstration earlier today. Kwesi Deborah was with them. He joins me on the line with some more. Kwesi, unfortunately, the visuals of them going on the demonstration actually isn't ready at the moment. Can you paint to us a mental picture of how it happened? How many of them were on the street? Tell us a bit more.
The demonstration was supposed to start around 7, but unfortunately, members weren't coming in their numbers. So it was around 10 that everything began. So and they marched about 50 meters to the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, and I saw about 15 members around. Well, I was told many will be coming, but well, by the time I was leaving the place, there was about 15, 16 thereabouts.
Right, and they have these concerns. Have they had any responses so far?
Well, they met the mayor and explained certain things to them. There were certain questions they had for the mayor, and they wanted to get answers. And because the other districts have gotten theirs, but they are yet to receive the 3% share of the common fund. And they said that it's been 5 months now since the thing has not come. We're talking about a 3% share of the common fund. And so the mayor explained to them that they have certain guidelines for the disbursement of the common fund. And it's as a result of certain hiccups, certain mishap somewhere, which has caused the delay. But they are trying to rectify it. And so those are some of the things. He just told them to wait for a while. They will try and solve everything so they can get their 3% share.
Kwesi Deborah, thank you very much for that update. Kwesi Deborah joining us from Kumasi with those updates there. He was with them, the persons with disability. Let's speak also with Alexander Tete. He's president for the Center for Employment for Persons with Disability. Mr. Tete, thank you very much for your time. I'm wondering, maybe our reporter didn't get the response that perhaps you have had from authorities to your concerns. Have you had any more responses from the authorities?
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, our colleagues who were on demonstration, it's a demonstration specific to their district. It's a challenge specific to their district, and that is why they are addressing it to their chief executive. Of course, the common fund has been transferred for about 4 months now. And there's no reason why by now they haven't received their money. The money has not been disbursed. In fact, I don't agree with the chief executive that there are some issues in the guidelines the guideline is clear, and also the directive from the Common Fund Administrator is also clear. So I don't think that should delay the disbursement of the funds.
What steps are you taking to ensure that the funds are disbursed for your members?
I think that the Chief Executive needs to do what is important, what is necessary for persons with disabilities to get the money. When the funds is transferred from the Common Fund Administrator, it's for the district and the Fund Management Committee to sit on it with the social welfare officers and also to look at applications that have come and to disburse the money. So these issues had come up, and so yesterday the leadership of the disability community had a meeting with the local government minister and her two deputies, and even the National Council on Persons with Disabilities.
What was the outcome of the meeting here?
We all discussed all these challenges. So there are steps, but some assemblies have received their money. Just a few assemblies that have not received their money, and of course, that is why they are demonstrating. So I think that the assembly and the chief executive and all the authorities there need to do be fast and release the money to persons with disabilities. This money don't have to wait any longer.
Is this an anomaly, or is this something that happens quite usually?
Yes, actually, in the past, these things used to happen. And when it happens, I mean, the authorities are met and all the obstacles are cleared. This is not something that this is the first of its kind at all.
Okay.
Sometimes you can recall that sometimes if some assemblies even borrow the money. And so St. Ghana have made a research, and some assemblies borrow the money, some use the money for sanitation, some use the money for other purposes. And so these are some of the challenges that we go through. And it is for the persons with disabilities in that district to wake up and stand for their rights and be able to confront the authorities there and for their issues to be addressed.
Finally,
so of course,
yes, go ahead.
If they are demonstrating, then it's for the assembly there and the chief executives that have to make sure that the money is disbursed, because the money is in the account. And so they have to make sure that persons with disabilities receive the money.
So finally, let me find out from you, one of the things that your colleagues are demanding is clarity on the new directives that have been given as far as the disbursement of the District Assembly Common Fund is concerned. They're saying that it's cutting off persons below 18 years and persons, above 60 years. How accurate is this, and have you engaged the ministry? Like you said that you met with the ministry, did you engage them on that particular part of the...
Yes, we did, and that statement is not part of the guidelines.
It's not a part of the guidelines.
We understood that it was just a response to a question which the Common Fund Administrator was responding to in Kumasi, in a workshop in Kumasi. And the Common Fund Administrator did make it clear that the Common Fund is for supporting persons with disabilities and in three areas, for educational purpose, for medical purpose, and also for economic purpose. And she was saying that for persons who are above 60 years, it's not prudent that persons who are above 60 years who work with money that is given for vocational purpose. Such persons must rather be supported to go on the leave so that they get a monthly transfer. Social welfare is also administering leave programs, and it's for persons beyond the productive capacity. And persons with disabilities who are above 60 years could fall under that category. So that is what the Common Fund Administrator was explaining. And for children or people who are below 18 years, of course, could benefit from the educational purpose of the Common Fund. So it was only an explanation, but it was not part
let's say it was her own opinion
of the guidelines.
So it's her own opinion.
The guidelines.
Okay, so as we speak, everybody who is a disabled person gets to benefit from the District Assembly Common Fund. Is that correct?
Exactly. Everybody gets to benefit from the Common Fund.
Mr. Alexander Tetteh, let's leave the conversation here. Thank you so much for your time. Alexander Tetteh is with the Center of Employment for Persons with Disability.